we were going into final planning for the start of the semester, and the university announced that we will have an extremely limited population. So at GW, we said that students will all take classes online except for specialized programs, specially approved things that will be on campus. Our residential population dropped from 7,000 students to 500 students. And then even our faculty and staff were told, you will remote work unless you are required to be on campus. And so there was a huge effort that we were given a couple weeks to identify everybody who has to be on campus. They had to be put on the approved list. And they wanted to turn off cards for people who are not approved to be on campus. And we thought of various ways to do this. We're a GWorld school, and we decided to use the holds that are available in GWorld, patron holds. And how it works, there's a certain, I think it's 8 or 9, maybe 10 different patron holds that you can set at different levels. And the highest patron hold will lock you out of the most things. And we've always had the highest patron hold be a lost card, which that lost card means that you can't do anything with your card. It will not work for anything when you're set to a lost card hold. Well, then we needed all of these different levels. We needed people who are not approved to be on campus. That's the next step down. We don't want their cards to work at all. So that ended up being hold 8. And then we have all of these other categories of, okay, you're approved to be on campus, you're in isolation because you've tested positive, and so you can still get into your residence hall and you can still use your card to make purchases and use the parking garage, but you can't use it to enter any academic space on campus. Same thing with people who are required to quarantine. We also have holds for people who have fallen out of the mandatory weekly COVID testing. We have a hold for people who do not complete their COVID training. We have a hold for people who have not completed their daily symptom tracking on a regular basis. So we have all these different holds, and we set up user accounts for our campus COVID support team, which is within our School of Public Health. They have special logins into our system that they can place these holds on individuals. And the 5 COVID holds, like I said, you can still use your residence hall. You can still use your declining balance account, a few other things, but you can't go to the library. You can't go to the gym on campus. You can't go to any academic building. So that is extremely restrictive, and they can set all those holds by themselves, or if they have a big population, they give us a list and we set those holds for them. The big deal that we had to figure out was the confidentiality piece, because individuals' COVID status, specifically if they have tested positive, is protected by HIPAA. And because we have so many different people doing different things in the GWorld system, we have our main staff with logins, and then we have all of these other groups that can log in for adding various things or viewing various things. We had to be very careful about how we labeled these holds, because initially we just wanted to call them, okay, here's the isolation, here's the quarantine. It's easy, it makes sense. But the problem is, especially with that isolation one, we can't have anybody see that it says isolation, because that's a HIPAA violation. So once we figured that out, like I said, we had a special login user group for the campus COVID team. They can see all the real names for the holds, but then everybody else, when they log in at Look and Holds, just sees COVID hold. They don't see the specialized name of what that hold actually is. Individuals can log into, we have a customer facing version of CS Gold that they can log into. And we added their hold status to that because that became an issue of, well, I've got a hold. Well, my customer service team can't tell you what kind of hold you have because they can't see it. I can see it because I've got full admin rights and I know what behind the scenes hold means, but I can't spend my whole day diagnosing holds for people and telling them where to go. So that became a big problem pretty quickly. But we solved it by adding the hold information to that customer facing portal where they can log in and find out what their own hold status is. And then they have directions based on, okay, you have an isolation hold, contact these people to figure out when that can be lifted. Or you have a testing hold, okay, go get tested, go show your testing receipt to the police department, they'll turn your card back on.